So history abuse must stop, Stetman writes at the Daily Signal. He says Western media, or he says if you paid any attention to news recently, it's been hard not to notice that analogies to World War II have become increasingly ridiculous, especially regarding the current conflict between Russia and Ukraine. And by the way, you have Zelensky out singing a completely different tune already. Online, you had a bunch of lefties. Oh, see, now he's gone to Europe. They're taking care of him. No, they gave him a loan for like a few $1 billion. And Zelensky admitted pretty quickly after that meeting, that photo op with all of these guys like Starmer and Macron and all of these guys. He admitted, basically and I'm paraphrasing, there's no way we can succeed without the U.S.'s help. Europe is weak. Listen, guys, I love, it's not a knock on European people, but those countries have gone to hell with gasoline draws on. They don't share our values anymore. They are free speech Nazis. They don't believe it. You heard Keir Starmer come in the White House the other day in the Oval Office, and he rejected when J.D. Vance, VP Vance, challenged him as well and their censorship. And he was like, no, we have great free speech law, censorship. No, they don't. They have proper speech. Meaning whatever the elites and the politicians decide, and the lords, if you will, those that are in power, whatever they say is good is good. What you may think is good is not good unless they say it's okay for you to think it. That's why Christians are being arrested out there right now. The UK is a total joke under the leadership of Keir Starmer. Now, getting back to this piece, Western media and political elites, he talks about the New York Times, appear to have little framework by which to analyze current events through historical analogy, other than through the most distorted movie-like version of the Second World War that has little connection to reality. He says every single political event and leader is like a broken record compared to some bad Marvel comic version of its World War II self. Trump is Hitler, for instance. Trump is Neville Chamberlain. Russian President Vladimir Putin is Hitler. Ukrainian President Zelensky is Winston Churchill. UK Prime Minister Starmer is Winston Churchill and the leader of the free world. He says, stop. For a time when millennials were coming of political age, the Harry Potter comparisons he talks about were repeated ad nauseum. I remember my nieces and nephews talking about Harry Potter so much. They would compare so much stuff to Harry Potter. I see that. He says the eventual response to Harry Potter analogies just became read another book, and eventually the comparisons died down. And that's what I'm saying now. Pick another event in history besides World War II, please. It isn't always Munich in 1938. Not every politician you don't like is Hitler. Not every aggressive foreign power is a Third Reich. And not every attempt at peace is Neville Chamberlain-like appeasement. He says, and if you're going to go with a World War II history analogy, at least get the facts straight. He says he liked to make this point about Churchill based on actual history because, one, there has been quite a bit of digital ink that has been spilled claiming Zelensky is Churchill. And that criticizing him is like the U.S. suddenly stabbing Churchill in the back while he was fighting Nazis. And he says, frankly, Zelensky's public eruption with Trump was very un-Churchill-like. Churchill was a wise and clever statesman who knew exactly the position the UK was in during the war. Now, I'm going to continue with this after the break, but you have to understand, I'm setting the table for you, or at least he is. Churchill understood the times that he was living in. Right now, Zelensky does not, and that makes all the difference in the world.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.